Good morning, everyone. So, having a great day so far. Got like 9 hours sleep, which was nice to recover from the dancing night out, night of revelry. So, I'm just continuing the series of toxic workplace videos. I'm going to tell you about the world's worst employee I encountered at that place I worked at for about 20 years. She was this person, she got hired as community support worker. I was a housing and residential support worker and peer support worker, so I was like technically a lower position, but I never wanted to be a community support worker. But you worked more intimately with clients and getting their goals achieved and so on and so forth. But right from the beginning, she was always like putting hearts and little symbols on the receipts when clients paid their rent, putting in an envelope with like a little heart, my friend and stuff on a, and I'm like, you can't do this. You can't put that on receipts and envelopes to clients. That's really inappropriate. And she kept doing it, and I would have to rewrite the receipts and make sure it was professional looking, not with like hearts and whatever else, XOX. I don't even know if she put that, but it was just really not professional. And she even, at the place she worked, was high support. And there was one fellow who had a brain injury. He had like a high-level business job. He had a brain injury and found himself in supportive housing. He could no longer work at a high-level job. He lost everything. Lost his family, lost his job, lost his children. It was just awful. And he needed support around that house to cook. And you couldn't leave him alone because his memory was affected. You needed to keep him on track with the cooking and cooking correctly so he didn't injure himself or burn the house down. She went back to the office to gossip with other staff about whatever they gossip about. And she just left him to cook by himself when we absolutely weren't supposed to do that. It was really unprofessional, neglectful, like fire-worthy material. Because he lit a fucking fire by accident. He could have been killed. And it burned the kitchen so badly they had to do renovations. And everybody could have died. And all she got was like 6 months probation. You don't ignore a client you're supposed to be helping cook to go chat with staff. Well, they accidentally burned the house down almost. And then there was a client who kept calling me sweetie and pushing the boundaries, which sometimes you have to deal with that. And you set your professional boundaries and you politely say, that's just not professional. We can't address each other like that. When it starts to become so much that they're always commenting on your looks. So when I spoke to my boss about that and setting professional boundaries is kind of be a standard thing, like maybe this woman that was putting hearts on the receipts had like 3 complaints against her from 3 different clients saying she was unprofessional and sexually inappropriate, and nothing was done. They moved her over to where I was working with the guy who was being sexually inappropriate, and they became the best of buds. Like, it was just, you gotta be joking. This is what went on. She was like the worst employee I ever encountered. Not the funniest or the strangest. People, kind of goofy people you get along with. But this lady was like so inappropriate. I couldn't believe. You can't even believe you're employed. But this is the person gets elevated. Bizarre. Explain it to me. I don't know if you can.